Stainless steel is the most superior. Wonderful, Lucky Reddy, Rajnikant garu. Stainless steel is the most superior of all these three. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, ఒక మెటల్ మీకు డైరెక్ట్ గా రిఫైన్డ్ ఫామ్ లో దొరుకుతుందండి? లేదు. మీరు యూ హ్యావ్ టు గో డిగ్ ఇన్ టు ద ఎర్త్, యూ షుడ్ నో వేర్ టు ఫైండ్ ఇట్. దానికి ఒక ప్లేస్ ఉంటుంది. అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి మీరు ఆ మెటల్ ని తీస్తే వాట్ యు హ్యావ్ ఇన్ యువర్ హ్యాండ్స్ ఈస్ అ వెరీ ఇంప్యూర్ మెటల్. ఇప్పుడు దాన్ని హౌ టు ప్యూరిఫై అ మెటల్, మీరు ఎలా ప్యూరిఫై చేస్తారంటే దాన్ని బాగా హీట్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది. వెన్ యూ హీట్ ఇట్ స్లోగా దాంట్లోంచి కొన్ని ప్రాసెసెస్ చేసి ఇంప్యూరిటీస్ ని తీసేస్తారు. సో దట్స్ హౌ ఒక ఐరన్, భూమిలోంచి తీసిన ఐరన్ ని, ఇట్ హ్యాస్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంప్యూరిటీస్. అండ్ వెన్ యూ గివ్ ఇట్ అ హీట్ ట్రీట్మెంట్, you'll slowly see that the impurities will keep going away. And when you add a little bit of carbon to it, what you get is the product is called steel, which is very, very hard and strong than iron. The point is, how did steel become stronger than iron? Because it underwent the pain of the heat. A heat యొక్క pain తీసుకుందండి. కాబట్టి this iron has become steel. It has become stronger. It has become harder. But there is a problem with this steel also, is that the steel tends to get stains, rust అవుతుందండి. The tendency of the steel has, that is, it has still a problem of rusting. The layer, you'll see, when you leave steel on the open atmosphere over a period of time, it will get a brownish layer, which reduces the effectiveness of the substance. Right? When you add chromium, some 10 to 11% of chromium to steel, that steel finally becomes stainless steel. That steel does not rust easily. It does not catch stain. So for an iron to become stainless steel, it has to go through some processes. This pain you have to go through. That is no way. Otherwise, there is no other way by which you can make iron into stainless steel. By simply keeping iron here, it does not become a stainless steel. So please remember this. Once you have decided to come here, you have to undergo this heat treatment. You have to undergo this pain. It is a painful process. But at the end of the process, the product will be really a higher quality of your own self. That is, before you enter this process, you compare yourself, and after the process, your personality will be slightly different గా ఉంటుందండి. So either before I go into the subject, a few more points. So we want such people who are ready from their side with a burning desire. Please keep in mind, we are not worried about your past. Why? Because we cannot change it. You may be 10th class fail, you may be 10th class supplementary pass, you might be 3rd class pass, you might be Telugu medium, you might be Hindi medium, you might be a poor person, you might be not from IIT, IIM kind of a college background, very small colleges. It all doesn't matter to us. What matters to us, whether you have that burning desire. మీకు మనసులో చేయాలని ఆ తపన ఉంటే 100% ఎవరైనా మీకు హెల్ప్ చేస్తారనండి. అదే గానే మీకే లేదనుకోండి, ఎవరు ఏం చేయలేరు. No one can do anything if you don't have an internal desire to do that. And also keep in mind that once you start, you have decided that मुझे civils ही करना है, so please keep in mind that you have to dedicate at least 2 to 3 years. And the good point is, if you are already in your if you are still only in your graduation, that will be very, very beneficial for you all to start off early. ముందుగా స్టార్ట్ చేయడం వల్ల వచ్చే అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఇదేనండి. You can slowly, such big task, you can do it in small pieces, and we will guide you all across the journey. స్లోగా మనము ఆ జర్నీని మనము వెళ్దామనండి. ఫైన్. అయితే in this, once you start your civils journey, last point before I go into the subject aspect, సివిల్స్ జర్నీలోకి వచ్చేసరికి పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే, it is a very difficult exam. Everyone knows that. There is nothing new that I should say in it. But the point is, in how much time you will clear the civils, with how much effort you will clear the civils. So all of this will depend upon the guidance you will get. For example, I will give you a small example, ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్తానండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, టేక్ 2 seeds, 2 seeds అండి, గింజలు. ठीक है, 2 seeds, విత్తనాలు. suppose that they are both of same genetic composition, rendu kuda same genes lone unnayi, so there is not much difference between their capacity or potential. But imagine what happens if I put these two seeds in different environments. One seed I will put in a very fertile land, and another seed I will put in a very desert area lo padestanu, very hot, no water supply. Come after a few years and see what will happen to these seeds. They've already started growing into plants. What about the seed which is growing in the fertile plain? You will see that this plant is really healthy. It is very tall. And when you compare it with this one, which is poor seed which has been thrown into a desert, you will see that this plant is really not very strong, or this quality is inferior or less than this one. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి उसका रीजन क्या है? क्या ये सीड में प्रॉब्लम है या प्रॉब्लम इज इन द एनवायरनमेंट? The base is important, Rajnikant Reddy is saying. Needs some stuff. Yes, correct. The point is, रेंडो सेम सीड्स हैं, दोनों भी सेम सीड है, उतना ही कैपेसिटी है दोनों के अंदर पास होने या फेल होने का. बट फर्क इतना ही है कि वो सीड्स को करेक्ट वो बेस मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा है. अगर दोनों सीड्स को आप डेजर्ट पे फेंक दो तो दोनों भी वेस्ट हो जाएंगे. दोनों को फर्टाइल लैंड में डालो तो दोनों भी बढ़िया आएंगे. So the point is, the problem is in Rahmatullah Mohammed is saying the problem, and Chandana are also saying that environment is very, very important. The same holds good for civil services preparation as well. So you all, we believe that in my 6 years of coaching experience, I see that I strongly believe that every student is like the seed. You have the same potential. But the point is, we all come from different backgrounds. We come from different social background, different religions, different castes, different languages, different class, high class, middle class, low class. We are poor, rich. So some of our parents may have some people already, or some of our families may have people who are coming from civil services. For example, many rankers have their parents in the services already, or their brothers or sisters in the services already. Someone in their family. We may not have that. So the environments may be different. So that is another reason why many people fail. But as I said, it really doesn't matter. The moment you start, the game is equal for everyone. The point is simply to say, we will compensate all the problems that you had in your previous till now. That all will be compensated here. Thank you, Chandana. All of those will be compensated with this coaching. And as I said, we don't want non-serious candidates. They are a burden for themselves. They are a burden for us. They are a burden for society. అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళు వద్దు అనండి. సీరియస్ క్యాండిడేట్స్ రండి. చెప్తున్నాను కదా, 100% మీరు సక్సెస్ అవుతారు. ద సీరియస్నెస్ యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్. మీకు ఆ కసి ఉంటే, we have that energy. If you also have that energy, and that energy and clash will definitely give rise to more energy only. But if we are only pushing you, you are just coming to class, listening to us, reading for your sake. You don't know why you are here. You don't have a purpose in life. So we cannot help you. అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళు ఎవరికి బెనిఫిట్ కాదండి. సొసైటీ కూడా వాళ్ళేం పెద్ద బెనిఫిట్ చేసేది లేదు. బట్ మీకు ఎనర్జీ ఉందంటే, మాకు ఫుల్ ఎనర్జీ ఉందండి. ఈ ఇద్దరము కలిస్తే డెఫినెట్లీ వీ క్యాన్ డూ సంథింగ్ గుడ్, నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ యూ, for your families, and for your society and the country also. And I also give another example to students here. For example, ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, take a candle, one candle. How many, you can see that ఒక్క క్యాండిల్ తోటి నేను వేరే క్యాండిల్స్ వెలిగించచ్చా లేదా అంటే? Yes, we can light many other candles. That is, the light, suppose I am a candle, we are all a candle. If imagine that before you die, if you are not able to light another candle, what is the use of this light that you have? Waste and day. I hope you understood this example here. That is, the real success in life does not come with money. It does not come with rank. The real success comes when you have inspired at least one person in your life. మిమ్మల్ని చూసి ఒక్క మనిషి ఇన్స్పైర్ అయినా కూడా మీ లైఫ్ సక్సెస్ అయినట్టే. ఎందుకనంటే మీలో ఉన్న లైట్, మీ క్యాండిల్ మీద ఉన్న లైట్ ఇంకొక कैंडल కి అందినా కూడా, ये कैंडल बुझने के बाद भी वो कैंडल का दिया दूसरे कैंडल पे जल रहा है. तो मतलब वही बना. That is, even after you die, you are extinguished. The light you carried has been given to other people. So imagine, if you become an IAS officer or something like that, imagine how much light you can bring in the other people's lives. So success, please don't see with the amount of money you have, the ranks or position you have in your society. The success will come from internally. Your satisfaction that you did your best, మీ లోపల ఉన్న కంప్లీట్ పొటెన్షియల్ మీరు సొసైటీకి ఇచ్చారన్నంత సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ ఇంకో విషయంలో లేదనండి. And if even one person is inspired by you, I will say your life is definitely a successful life. Fine. So ఇలాంటి పాజిటివ్ థాట్స్ మనకి ఇది జస్ట్ ఇది స్టార్టింగ్ అండి. ఇది ఒక చిన్న సెషన్ అంతే, ఇంట్రొడక్టరీ సెషన్. మీరు అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎలాంటి టీచర్స్ ఉన్నారు, ఎవరు ఉన్నారు అనేది జస్ట్ ఒక మీకు ఒక సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ కోసం మేము మమ్మల్ని వీఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు ప్రెజెంట్ అవర్ సెల్స్. సబ్జెక్ట్ లోపలికి వెళ్ళడము అవన్నీ చాలా డిస్కషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. దానికి మనము క్లాసెస్ లో మనము డైలీ చాలా చేయొచ్చు. సో ఈ బేసిక్ ఇవన్నీ. సో బిఫోర్ ఐ గో ఇన్ టు ద సబ్జెక్ట్ ఇష్యూ, ఐ వాంట్ టు సమ్మరైజ్ మనం ఇప్పటిదాకా చేసిందంతా ఒక చిన్న సమ్మరీ చేసుకుందామనండి. ఫస్ట్ స్టార్టింగ్ నేను చెప్పానండి, ర్యాంకర్స్ వై ఆర్ దే పాసింగ్, ఫెయిలియర్స్ వై ఆర్ దే ఫెయిలింగ్. 2 to 3 రీజన్స్ చెప్తారా? కెన్ యూ గివ్ మీ 1 or 2 రీజన్స్ why rankers are passing, why failures are failing? 1 or 2 reasons which we discussed. One reason, first reason, anyone? Consistency, okay, but that's not the point we discussed there. Rankers are serious, okay. Late preparation, correct. Lakshana Matam is saying the right answer there. And there's another answer, second reason also has been given by Mr. Ravi Teja, absence of writing practice. కరెక్ట్. బికాస్ పాయింట్ సమ్మరైజ్ చేస్తున్నానండి, చాలా మంది సివిల్స్ స్టార్ట్ చేయడము, దే స్టార్ట్ వెరీ లేట్ ఆఫ్టర్ దే గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్, బట్ ఇట్స్ డెఫినెట్లీ నాట్ అ కరెక్ట్ స్ట్రాటజీ అండి. సెకండ్ రీజన్ వై పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఫెయిలింగ్ ఇస్ దట్ దే కీప్ స్టడీయింగ్, దే డూ లాట్ ఆఫ్ హార్డ్ వర్క్. 100 బుక్లు చదువుతారు, క్లాసులు వింటారు, అన్ని చేస్తారు, కానీ దే ఆర్ ఫర్గెటింగ్ టు రైటింగ్ స్కిల్స్. కరెక్ట్, దే ఆర్ ఫర్గెటింగ్ టు రైట్, బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ జస్ట్ రైటింగ్. ఐ గేవ్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ అ మూవీ. మీరు మూవీ చూసారు, you read a book, you saw a movie, both of these things are in your mind, but when I ask you to write down, appudu problem face chestarandi. And that too, I am not giving you full freedom to write as you want. You have to write in definite word limits, that is 200 words lone rayali. टाइम लिमिट भी दे रहे हैं हम लोग. दैट इज आपको 10-12 मिनट में ही लिखना है. दैट इज आपको क्वेश्चन पढ़ना है, क्वेश्चन पढ़ के पॉइंट्स कलेक्ट करना है, उसको सारे ऑर्गेनाइज करना पड़ेगा आपको और नीटली प्रेजेंट करना है, डायग्राम्स के साथ, हेडिंग्स के साथ, इंट्रोडक्शन, बॉडी, कंक्लूजन लिखते हुए टाइम फ्रेम, ये सब करना है. सो दिस इज द चैलेंज. सो जब तक आप ये नहीं करते हो, आप बस पढ़ते रहोगे. आप न जाने 100 बुक पढ़ लिए, 200 बुक पढ़ लीजिए, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना है, क्योंकि आप कितने भी बुक्स पढ़ो, మీరు ఎన్ని బుక్స్ చదివినా కూడా you have only 3 hours. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. అండ్ ఫర్ వన్ క్వశ్చన్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఓన్లీ 8 to 9 minutes, దట్స్ ఆల్. 8 to 9 minutes ఒక టాపిక్ మీద మీకు క్వశ్చన్ వస్తే మీరు 100 బుక్లు చదివి వేస్ట్ అండి. అక్కడే పిల్లలు తప్పు చేస్తున్నారు, చదివి అలసిపోతున్నారు, కానీ పాపం అంత కష్టపడి కూడా ర్యాంక్ కాబట్టి. సో అదొకటండి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి ప్లీజ్. ఆ తప్పులు మనము చెయ్యము మనం. అండ్ అందుకు మన కోచింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ లో నీడ్స్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాక్టీస్. రజనీకాంత్ రెడ్డి, కరెక్ట్, వీ హ్యావ్ టు డూ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాక్టీస్. దట్ ఈస్ బీయింగ్ ఏబుల్ టు రైట్, అండ్ రైట్ నాట్ జస్ట్ freely, but write in word limit and time limit is the challenge. And once you understand that this is the real thing that is needed of you, your chances for success will tend to increase. After that, we also discussed generally about your jobs and all these things. I don't want to get into all those things again. We have discussed them sufficiently. Please remember these 2 examples of the seeds. What is matter is that they are same seeds, but what is very important is the environment in which these seeds are there. And last example I also gave about the candle. The success is not externally understood. It has to be internal feeling. And there is no real failure in life unless and until you accept that you are a failure. You have to keep fighting, that's all. Be a fighter. And you can understand, I give you so many examples of people who failed in their graduation. Just imagine when they failed in their graduation, what people would have thought about them. They would have made fun about them, they would have laughed about them. These people have failed their graduation. Today you can see that they are providing jobs for many graduates who are working under them now. Fine. So with all this, I'll wrap up my general discussion. Let me now start a few points, 5 to 10 minutes about my just a second. Okay. So we do have time. Don't worry. I thought I should wrap up by 11 o'clock. There is nothing like that. By 11:30 or so, I'll be winding it up. Fine. So the topper who is about to give the next session is 11:30. Definitely, some person has asked for a doubt session. Uh, Rajnikant Reddy. Definitely, that will be clarified. I will give you last 10 minutes for the doubt session. Fine. A few minutes we will spend on the subject so that you will get a taste about history also. Fine. Let me start my discussion on the subject history. Fine. So coming to the very first point about my subject history. So since last 7 days, 6 days, you have been listening to a lot of lectures that have been organized here. So you have got a basic understanding of the syllabus, particularly the main syllabus. Can anyone tell me in the syllabus, main syllabus, which paper do we have the history? Which GS paper we have the history? GS1. Okay. GS2. It is, you can say it's paper 1 GS. On the total, it is 2, but with respect to general studies, it is paper 1. Fine, correct. Now, you understand the importance of history here. Just imagine when the UPSC examiner was preparing the syllabus, you have GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Essay is separate. You can, if you consider essay also, then this comes into paper 2. But essay is a different thing. Just look at these 4 papers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why history is put in the first paper only? Once you understand that, you will understand how important is history. Did you understand my question? We have 4 papers. 1, 2, 3, 4. History can be put anywhere. It could have it could have been included in the 4th paper also. But why has it been included in the first paper only? Try to think about it. Past is important, where the future can rise, okay? Plays a vital role, okay? Because of it's important, okay, Ravitija? What is our past? Okay, Ramatullah? Okay, okay, okay. Fine. So the simple answer to this is today we are born just now. We are in last 20, 25 years, we are all born here. But the world has been existing since very, very long time. And if you have to go tomorrow into the world and understand it, you have to create a new future. For that, you need to understand what has happened till now. आप पैदा होने तक क्या हुआ आपको पता नहीं है ना? Did you have any tips? Rajnikant, definitely I will give you tips for the history, how to remember the years and all those things in the class. They will definitely come. And even today also, last 10 minutes, I will give you for the doubt session. Please don't worry about that. Fine. So without knowing the past, how will you solve the problems? I will give you some examples. Recently, you are seeing the Indo-China border problem. I think most of you are aware of this. Are you looking at the newspapers or listening to the news? Yes, yes, correct. 1960. Now, if you have to understand the border problem of India and China, can you understand by only looking into the present aspect, or should you go into the past? Yes, yes, correct. You have to go into the past. And for example, did India and China have a war sometime back? Yes, they did have a war. Today we have the Doklam issue. 1962 we war here. So is it 1962? Is it a present or past? It is past. So if you have to understand today Indo-China relationships, it is not that they started the relationship just today. They have relationships since very, very long time. Particularly since 1947, when India got its independence, we have to look at Indo-China relations since then. So without that historical background, you can never appreciate China, Indo-China relationships. Next example I also give is Article 370. What is this article related to? You should be seeing this in news. Yes, J&K, Jammu Kashmir, it's related. What happened to this article? This has been recently removed from the constitution. Yes. Namaste, Sindhu. Thank you. the special status of Jammu and Kashmir has been removed. But see, Article 370 has removed the special status. What do we mean? But when was this special status given? Was it given today or was it given in the past? It was given so long back in the past, 1950s. Now, please tell me, without understanding the situation at that time, can you really understand the issue today? No, how can you understand? So that is the importance of studying history. History gives you a base for all the other subjects. Whatever is happening today, if you want to understand, you have to understand it. You have to first have a historical background. So without that background, आपको कभी नहीं समझ में आएगा अभी क्या चल रहा है, क्या हुआ है समझ में आ गया तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि क्या हो रहा है, and then you can also understand क्या होना चाहिए, क्या करना चाहिए. ఇప్పటిదాకా ఏం జరిగిందో తెలియకుండా ఇప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుంది, మరి ఏం చెయ్యాలి అనేది ఎట్లా తెలుస్తుందండి మనకి? So that is not possible. So I hope UPSC, when it designed the syllabus, it did not design randomly. ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు డిజైన్ చేయలేదనండి. పేపర్ 1 లో హిస్టరీ పెట్టడానికి అర్థమైందంటే రీజన్ దట్ ఈస్ when they were designing the syllabus, they are not designing randomly. They designed it with very logic. History, you cannot keep history in the 4th paper. History has to come in the 1st paper only. Fine. I hope this is not a history class. This is just an introduction class on history. I am not going into the subject at all. I am trying to tell you the importance of the subject. I will try to tell you the approach we need to have to that subject. Hari, you have a doubt here. I'll try to clarify it in the next last 10 minutes. Please be patient for a while. And for example, you take this aspect. You might have heard book list. All of them will be given shortly before I finish the session. Mr. Anil is asking for that. All of those will be clarified in the last 10 minutes. Please be patient for a few seconds, few minutes. Next, the last question to tell you the importance of history. Today, you might have heard about this international organization called United Nations. Yes. You have to understand how it is functioning today. Is India a permanent member of United Nations? Is India? No. Rahmatullah is saying no. Correct. Manish, everyone is saying no. It is not a permanent member. Now, why are we not a permanent member? When was this body created? When was United Nations created? 1945, correct? 1945, correct? Now, please tell me, if it is what created in 1945, can you understand how United Nations is functioning today? Why it is functioning like this without understanding the past? Not possible. You should know the 5 permanent members who were the founding members of the United Nations, they initially got that advantage. And at that point of time, India was a very weak country. We were just not even completely independent also. We became independent only after 2 years after United Nations. That is when United Nations started. India was a founding member of that. But we were not an independent country. We were a colony of Britain at that point of time. So if you want to understand how United Nations is functioning today, you have to understand the background of United Nations. Once you understand why United Nations was formed, who formed it, for what purpose they formed it. Yes, Rupesh is saying US, Russia, China, UK, France, they're all the permanent members, correct. So the point is, why only those countries should have that power? Why not India? India is the second most populous country in the world. We are such a big economy. Why we don't have place representation in that body? Why are we not a member of that permanent member? Why don't we have that veto powers? Correct. So you can see all of you already have most of you have some kind of a background story in your mind with respect to these things. So in the classroom sessions, all of these will be further built upon, and definitely we are that is, history will give you the base from which you can understand the present conditions more easily. That is, I'll stop this point with saying this, that if you have to understand the current affairs, you have to have that historical background in your mind. Fine. More of this will come in the class. In the details, we will keep discussing. I'm running short of time. So let me move on to the next segment. Fine. So when you talk about history, the next question is, what is history? What is history? Can you give me a basic definition of history? Past, okay. Past incidents. Our past. Okay, what is it? So we are studying. So history, can I say basic definition is study of past? Correct. Our ancient people. Yes, Rajnikant, Rahmatullah. Correct. Which cannot be updated. Okay. So in history, we are studying what has already happened. For example, you see the distinction of history, the difference in history and other subjects. Take, for example, you have to study geography. Can you directly observe geography or no? Can you study the clouds directly? Can you observe and see them or no? You can see them. Can you observe the soil? Can you take measurements and check the quality of soil? Yes, you can do that. Yes, definitely. Take economy. Can I study economy in the present or no? We can look at the government budget. We can look at RBI policy. Yes, we can study economy also in the present time, because geography, economy, all are happening in front of us. But what about history? History has already happened. वो कब का हो चुका है, అది అయిపోయింది ఎప్పుడో, మరి దాన్ని ఎట్లా చదువుతాం మరి? So that is the task in history, and we will look at that in the classroom deeply. Manisha is writing, Indus Valley civilization is the first civilization in the world. That makes sense that our country is so great. Yes, you are very right, very close, Manisha, but not exactly. First civilization kadandi. It is among the first civilizations. Though our is not the first civilization, it is the third civilization in the world, but the largest civilization of the world at that point of time. So that is the significance we have. Mesopotamia, right? Raviteja has written that Mesopotamia civilization is the first civilization of the world. All these things we will discuss in great detail in the coming classroom session. For next segment, I will show you, because I'm already there, I will share a few points about history, my subject, and then I will give the doubt session for the last 10 minutes. Just a second. All these things we will discuss in the classroom. I really don't have time today. You can see this guy on the screen there. I hope everyone is able to see it. Who is this guy? Can you see him? Are you able to see him? Who is he? He's a chimpanzee. Please don't scribble. Please don't scribble. Yeah, you can see a chimpanzee here. What is he doing? You can see he's using a small stick and trying to put into a tree hole from where he wants to catch some ants living inside it. Essentially, it is to say he is trying to make use of a tool. He's trying to use a tool. Very few animals have this capacity to use tools. This is very close relative of human beings. We will look at that. We will look at that in the classroom. I really don't have much time today. Please don't scribble. Please don't scribble. Please don't scribble. Kindly, please. Kindly don't scribble. You can look at this picture also. How similar he looks to us, the chimpanzee. Very same, almost all. Where are chimpanzees found? Which continent? Anyone? Chat. Which continent do we find chimpanzees? Africa, wonderful, yes. So you can see that humans are very close to chimpanzees or no? So can I also say, if we are so close to each other, the first human should have come from Africa only? Yeah, yes, because you can see this middle guy sitting there with his child. You see at his arms, see at his shoulders, exactly like human. And you don't find Africa anywhere, the chimpanzee anywhere else except Africa. If chimpanzee was in Antarctica, you will say that humans also came from Antarctica. But chimpanzees, absolutely yes. The chimpanzees are also were only available in Africa, and because we are closest to our closest person is chimpanzee, so we should have also come from Africa only. So we will all of these things in detail will be discussed in the class. So look at this, another pic of the chimpanzee. What is it trying to do here? Here also it is trying to use a tool to crack a nut. It has kept the tool, the nut, between two stones and trying to hit that. And again, only other animal on the earth which can use tools is humans. So very clearly telling us that chimpanzees are our cousins. Fine. Let us look at this map here. The red portion is trying to show you in the Africa is telling you that it was around 2 lakh years. The number you can see there, that is where humans had started their journey. They were originated in Africa, and slowly from out, they started moving out into different continents out of Africa. You can see the route they took there. From North Africa, they went towards west side. That is, they went from the Arabian Peninsula. You can clearly see there. There is a connection between Africa and Asia there. So they started moving out of there, and from there they took a left turn. They went into Europe. They came to India. That is, from Africa they went into Europe, second continent. They came to Asia, third continent, and from Asia you can see they slowly moved on to Africa, fourth continent. And on the top you will see from Asia, from China portion, they went to slowly North America, fifth continent, and finally they came down to South America, the sixth continent. So this is the journey of humans. As the heading gives you, origin and spread of humans. So all this journey we are going to study in history, right from Africa till the last point, till the present point, we are going to study the human history. Fine. Before I close, let us just briefly look at the previous question trends in history. You can look at the board here, the slide there, the year wise and the preliminary questions, number of questions in preliminary, you can look at that. Every year you have around 15 to 16 questions. Once or twice you might get some more questions. Like for example, in 2018 you have 21 questions, which is 42 marks. I hope that's not a small figure. Fine. So 15 to 16 marks, 15 to 16 questions, or roughly 30 questions must come from history section. So history you really cannot neglect. Without history, obviously you don't expect a rank there. Look at the mains. Again, mains average every year you get nearly 75 marks of mains question in the first paper of your GS. So there is no doubt that history is definitely an important component of your syllabus. Fine. I also picked out 1 or 2 questions for the sample. So you can see this question on your slide there, preliminary question, which has come in the last year. This is the last year question. Just look at the question. Can you see how big the question is? To even read the question and understand the English and understand the tricks and the small traps that the UPSC has put, it will take a long time. Fine. So it is asking about difference between Jagirdars and Zamindars. It is talking about the time of Mughal Empire. And when you're studying, you have small revision mistake. You will start confusing in the exam between Jagirdar and Zamindar. So that will end up with a wrong mistake. That is, though you studied about it, but you have not revised it, or you don't have complete clarity, you can see that in spite of having some knowledge, you will not be able to answer this question. Whatever you are going to get it wrong. It's better is to leave such answers rather than trying to, because I'm not asking answers here. I'm just trying to tell you how difficult the question may be sometimes. The next question, look at this. Here, it is completely facts. There is no logic in this question. In the previous question, yes, there is some logic. You have to know the difference between Jagirdars, Zamindars. But look at this question. There is no concept here, only factual. It is asking you 3 persons and the positions they held in different organizations. We have to tell them which of them are correctly matched. Is there any logic here? As you can see, it is pure memory. Either you know it or you don't know it. So you can understand that we have to really put in a lot of efforts to get these questions. Look at this one. Another preliminary question. All our previous preliminary questions previously. He's asking you, the Stanakavasi sect belongs to which of this following religion? This question, the answer to this question, you will never find in any textbook, history textbook, because this is going too much deep into the subject. And we are not going to become historians or history professors here. But why did UPSC ask such a question which is not available in the books? It asked this question because it came in the news that year. A Hindu newspaper had a clear article, a full page article about Stanakavasi. So they asked the question because it is related to history. So even history which is related to past, the exam is asking current affairs questions from that. So we'll have to be careful. The answer actually is Jainism. Next, last question for preliminary sample. Please look at this. It is asking about Buland Darwaza and Khanka at Fatehpur Sikri, which was built by Akbar. But where white marble used, red marble used, red sandstone used, how will you know? Okay, even if you revised, it may, even if you studied, it's not easy to remember so minute facts about everything. Next, red sandstone and marble were used in Bara, Imambara and Rumi Darwaza at Lucknow. Oh, it's really difficult to remember all these things. But the point is, UPSC has asked this question. We need not read every point like this in the textbook. Why did UPSC ask this point only from that textbook? Then you will find this in your textbooks. But why this only? Because an article came in the Hindu newspaper. That's why they asked this. Otherwise, they would not have asked so much detail into this. Fine. So I hope you understood the approach here. That is important. Books are important, but that year which question will come will be decided from the newspapers. If an article has come in the newspaper, most probably expect that the question will come on this aspect, and we will collect all that from our side and we will help you. Coming to the next, this is a previous question for mains, history related. Just have a look at this. Look at the first question. Fine. Is he asking you to write about what happened in the past? क्या पूछ रहा है वो क्वेश्चन में? आपको पास्ट के बारे में लिखने को पूछ रहा है? మిమ్మల్ని పాత అప్పుడు ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ సివిలైజేషన్ లో ఏమైందని అడుగుతున్నారా అండి? So I hope you can understand that I did not get any answers from you all. Yes, no, they are not asking you to write about what happened in the past. అప్పుడు ఏం జరిగిందని అడగట్లేదండి. వాడు అడుగుతుంది ఏంటి? అప్పటిదాన్ని ఇప్పటికి ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆన్ ప్రెసెంట్ డే. Yes, he is asking you. So past can be related to present. So that is how UPSC is asking. Normal students ఏం చేస్తారు? They go to history textbooks. They will study on their own. Indus Valley Civilization, they'll study mug up. But when they come to exam, they will be shocked seeing at this, because he did not ask you write about Indus Valley urban civilization. No, he is writing about how that will impact, that has a relation to the present day. Look into the second question is also like that. He's not asking you to write about Gandhi's thoughts. He's writing about how that Gandhi's thoughts are relevant to the present. So such things you will not find easily in the textbooks. So only a self-study without a guidance may not be really so effective. You may get that skill, but it will take a very, very long time. Fine. These two are one type of questions by which UPSC tries to trick your mind. Third question, please look at the third question. This is completely a bouncer. It was a shock for many of the students who wrote this exam. How will you know? See, there is no one perfect answer for such question. How will you know that? How he's not asking you how it happened. He's asking you how it would have happened. Adi ela jarigundedi okavela Mahatma Gandhi lekapoyunte. That is completely guess-based question. So it is, I can see he's trying to not test your memory skill. He's trying to keenly look into the analytical skills. Means you should know because of Gandhi what happened. So without Gandhi, this would not have happened. ఈయన వల్ల జరిగింది ఏంటి, ఈయన లేకపోయింటే జరిగేవి కాదు కదా. ఆ బేసిస్ లో సో you'll have to write it in a very twisted and tortured manner లో he is asking you questions to confuse you. That's when they were able to get the real people who with knowledge and that correct analysis power. Fine. Last question, please look at this. This is also a very tricky question. Lenin, who is Lenin? Anyone can give me in the box? Chat box. Who is Lenin? Anyone? Anyone knows who is Mr. Lenin? Communist. Okay, wonderful. Russian, correct. Soviet leader, wonderful. Yeah, he was the leader of Russia, who was a revolutionary leader in Russia. Fine. That details we will correct. Correct. Rahmatullah, Surya Prasad, everyone correct. Rajnikant correct. Russian. We will study about him in great detail in the class. But try to look at the question here. Lenin is coming from Russia. That is, this question is from the new economic policy of Lenin is world history topic. But what is he asking you? Is he asking about his policy? Is he asking about the policy of Lenin? No. What is he asking then? What is he asking? He is asking how his policy influenced Indian policy. So you can see world history has been related to Indian history. So the previous questions, past is related to present. Yes, how his ideas influenced Sahitya is correct. How his ideas influenced India. That is, they're asking world related to India. And please don't be afraid for these questions. I have deliberately selected difficult questions. నేను కావాలని difficult questions తీసుకొచ్చి చూపిస్తున్నానండి. Every year there will be easy questions also. ప్రతి సంవత్సరము easy questions కూడా ఉంటాయండి. ఇది కొంచెం నేను మీకు sample గా మీకు అర్థం కావాలని తీసుకొచ్చి చెప్తుంది. Fine. So this is how UPSC tries to trap you, trick you, and that's how people fail. So point ఏంటనంటే connecting to this to the previous point, Lenin policy చాలా మంది చదువుతాం. Everyone studies Lenin policy in the textbook, but how many of us can write the answer for this in 10 minutes in 200 words? Adi challenge andi. So the challenge is not about knowledge, it is about presenting the knowledge in limited words and limited time. Adi gurtupettukondi. Fine. If you wish, you can take a screenshot of this slide here. However, I'll discuss this in the when the session starts. I will discuss all of this in detail. This chart is giving you the different components of history, with Indian history and world history. The 5 columns you can see are Indian history related, and the last column is world history. Indian history is again divided into ancient India, medieval India, modern India, art and culture, and after independence. This slide is giving you which component is available for prelims and which component is available for mains. Right? All of this will again be dealt in great detail in the classroom sessions. The last slide for today, before I take up the doubt session, is this. You wish, you can take a small you can take a screenshot of this as well. This is giving, some person has asked me the list of history books sometime back. You can just note down this. You can take a screenshot giving you different components and the sources you have to refer to them. Fine. I am done with this today's session. 5 minutes. I am ready to for your doubt session. You can ask your doubts. One second. No need for, see, these books that have been given in the list are only NCERT books. We really don't want you to study many other books. The basic books are sufficient. Just a second, I'll look into the doubts. Sir, Chandana is asking, is 1 year enough for whole preparation? That definitely depends upon the guidance you get and your previous academic records. And yeah, it's all about guidance, ma. We'll try to do that, but there is no guarantee. No one can give you that guarantee that it is sufficient. But as I said, anything can be possible. It is up to you. Sir, can we read Tamil Nadu history textbooks instead of this book? It's fine. Sweta is asking Tamil Nadu history textbooks. Definitely not an issue. But still, I as a faculty of history, I really at this point of time I will not suggest them, because you will get some basic material from our side, and my main reference books will be the NCERTs. NCERTs are far more better. Tamil Nadu books are definitely easy to read, but they don't go the depth. They have very superficial content. Please keep aware of that. Are Telugu Academy books useful, sir? Yes, they may be useful. As I said, please kindly refer to these books. For Telugu medium, you can go for Telugu Academy. There is really not a problem. Sai Krishna is asking, can I write any negative thoughts about freedom fighters? Okay, that depends upon the context of the examination. As I said, such questions, these things will discuss specifically when we come to that personality. That will be discussed in great detail in your classroom. Oh, definitely. Rupesh is asking, will you get notes? You will definitely get notes. Don't worry about that. Timappa is asking NCRT or SCRT books. Oh, definitely not an issue. Even SCRT may be fine. Your state books also may be fine. But just compare that, whatever book you want to read, compare it with the syllabus once. And when the class starts, in the 1-2 classes, I will give you the entire timeline of this subject, ancient, medieval, every component, you will get the timeline. So once you get the timeline, you can compare it with the textbooks which you want to refer and you can study. From where, Sagar is asking from where we should start studying history. Most probably that will be discussed in the classroom. Ideally, till then, if you really want to start off so eagerly, you can start with the ancient India. That is a very good starting point. History as an optional is being asked by someone. Definitely, history is very good as an optional as well. However, I really don't take up history as an optional, but you can contact Ravi sir, the director sir. He will definitely let you know anything, any greater clarity about it. Rajnikant is asking, sir, repeated question I'm asking, any tips for remembering years in history? Rajnikant, this is quite a big question. First, I'll answer it in very shortly. First of all, years are not really important in the examination. However, once you get the story, years will be easily remembered by you. So it is my responsibility for you to help you that you don't have any problem in remembering the years in history. Let the classes start. You will get to know the picture. Fine. I hope the topper is waiting over there, and definitely I may not be able to take all your doubts. I hope I try to give some sense over history, and thank you all for your patience, and hopefully we'll meet soon in the history classes. Thank you all. Take care.